During dinner, my son-in-law Daniel Foster laughed. What's it like to be a loser? The room burst with laughter. Except me, I only smiled and whispered, how does it feel knowing this loser won't be paying your bills anymore? The moment those words left my lips, Daniel's face drained of color, and suddenly, our family table turned into a battlefield. You won't believe what happened next. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are watching in the comments. You know, Daniel, my son-in-law, I heard Frank Delaney say, swirling that expensive Cabernet in his glass, retirement must be nice. No pressure, no deadlines, no responsibilities. I set my fork down slowly, the prime rib untouched and growing cold. Around us, candles flickered in crystal holders on the polished mahogany table I had helped Laura pick out just last year. Tonight, my daughter had outdone herself, celebrating Daniel's shiny new promotion to regional sales manager. It has its moments, I murmured, watching him gulp the very wine I had gifted him in congratulations. Daniel leaned back in his chair, now always a head seat at our family gatherings. Don't get me wrong, you had a decent run as an engineer, but that was, 40 years ago. Different world now. Everything's digital, fast-paced. It takes a younger mind to succeed. Beside me, Laura shifted uncomfortably. The bracelet I'd given her last Christmas caught the candlelight. Dad had a wonderful career, she said softly. He designed infrastructure that still stands today. Sure, Daniel waved dismissively. But let's be honest, when was the last time you built something? Achieved something real? From across the table, my little Chloe Foster, only 8 years old, looked up from her plate. Grandpa built me a treehouse last summer. That's sweet, honey, Daniel patted her head, patronizing. But Grandpa needs to realize, real men provide for their families through hard work. Not everyone gets to coast in retirement, while others carry the weight. The silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. Laura's nervous laugh broke it, fragile. Maybe we should change the subject. Chloe, why don't you tell Grandpa about your piano recital? But Daniel wasn't finished. His promotion had filled him with arrogance, and the wine was fueling his boldness. Actually, I've been thinking, now that I'm making real money, 6 figures, it's time everyone started pulling their own weight. I knew exactly what he meant. 16 years of mortgage help, school tuitions, car payments, medical bills, 16 years of watching him waste money, while I quietly filled the gaps. Take Laura, for example, he said coldly, gesturing toward my daughter. She's been out of the workforce for too long, living off, well, let's call it family charity. Maybe it's time she rejoined the real world. Laura's face went pale. She knew, as I did, their lifestyle was built entirely on my sacrifices. The private school uniforms, the lease on Daniel's BMW, the new kitchen renovation. All of it, mine. My grandson Ethan, just 12, finally asked, voice trembling, Dad, are we in trouble? No, son, Daniel replied firmly. But you need to understand the difference between earners and dependents, between providers and... He turned his eyes directly on me. Those who've given up. The insult hung in the air like poison. Laura's fingers shook as she lifted her glass. The children stared in silence, their fears showing in their eyes. And then Daniel leaned forward, mistaking my silence for weakness. I don't mean to be harsh, but someone has to ask the hard questions. When was the last time you truly contributed? When did you last feel the pride of earning, rather than just existing? He paused, savoring the moment like a victory. Then the words cut deeper than a knife. How does it feel to be a failure? Gasps filled the table. Laura froze. Ethan's fork clattered. Chloe burst into tears. But me? I didn't flinch. I simply lifted my glass of water, drank slowly, and set it down with care. Then I met Daniel's eyes and said, steady and clear, how does it feel to know this? Failure won't be paying your bills anymore. The color drained from Daniel Foster's face faster than wine from a shattered bottle. Laura's hand flew to her mouth. The children stared wide-eyed, confusion mixing with fear, as their father's triumph twisted into panic. I calmly kept eating, cutting each piece of meat with deliberate care, while silence smothered the table. Outside, the March night settled over the neighborhood. A distant dog barked. Life went on, as if nothing had happened. After what felt like forever, I set down my fork, dabbed my mouth with a napkin, and stood. I'd bent, kissed Chloe and Ethan goodnight, and whispered softly, "Thank you for dinner, Laura. It was delicious." I walked to the front door, pulled on my coat, and stepped into the cool evening. Behind me sat a family, finally beginning to grasp what 16 years of quiet generosity had really meant. The 15-minute drive home passed in silence. My hand stayed steady on the wheel, though a storm churned inside me. At my driveway, the motion light flared, shadows stretching across the steps. Inside, I hung my coat neatly and walked straight to my study. The room smelled of polished wood and old paper. I switched on the brass desk lamp, its warm glow spilling over cabinets filled with 16 years of secrets. Receipts, bank statements, canceled checks, every sacrifice, every gift documented. As an engineer, I had always been precise. Tonight, I would finally measure the cost of being their so-called failure. The first drawer, labeled 2009 to 2012, blue folders, mortgage assistance, green, auto loans, yellow, school, red, medical. Helen passed away in late 2008. By January 2009, Laura was already struggling. The first check, $2,800. February, the same. March, again. Month after month, $2,800 for 180 months. My calculator glowed, $504,000 mortgage help alone. Then came the cars. Daniel's BMW lease. Laura's SUV loan. $1,200 a month. 8 years straight. $115, $200 gone. School folders spilled across the desk. Private academies with swimming pools. Foreign language programs, endless fees. Ethan's education from kindergarten through 7th grade. Chloe's from preschool through 4th. $24,000 a year, plus camps. 16 years, $192,000. Medical bills stacked next. Insurance premiums when Daniel was between jobs. Dental surgery for the kids. ER visits. Laura's therapy after her near divorce. $8,000 each year, $120,000. Behind them, vacations. Disney World, 2015. A European cruise in 2018. Ski trips in Aspen. Renovation for Laura's kitchen. Another $45,000. I leaned back in my leather chair, staring at the staggering total, $976,200. Nearly $1 million. Gone. For the first time since Helen's funeral, I felt the full weight of my promise at her bedside. "Don't worry about Laura," I'd whispered. "I'll make sure she's secure." I remembered Laura's tears that day, her trembling voice, begging me to help with the mortgage she and Daniel couldn't afford. Her gratitude at first, weekly calls, homemade cookies, the grandchildren's Sunday visits. But when did gratitude fade into expectation? When did my sacrifice stop being seen as love? I pulled out my own financial records. My modest retirement. The small 2-bedroom home, chosen instead of the lake house I dreamed of. My old truck rusting quietly, while Daniel flaunted luxury. Travel brochures I never used. Hobbies abandoned. Even companionship was lost, because family always came first. 16 years. Nearly $1 million. And all my dreams are buried with them. At 10:30 p.m., I picked up my phone. Tomorrow will be different. By Sunday morning, coffee tasted stronger, different. I sat at the kitchen window, watching sparrows fight over crumbs. Then I returned to my study, where documents waited like soldiers prepared for battle. The first call, National Bank. A cheerful voice. "Account services, this is Jennifer. How may I help you?" "I need to cancel automatic payments for my checking account 4978-994-2453. My tone was steady, an engineer's tone verification. Questions. Clicks of keys. "Those payments are discontinued, Mr. Coleman. Is there anything else I can help with?" "That's all. Thank you. I checked it off. Mortgage assistance. Ended. Colorado Mountain Insurance needed a supervisor. The BMW lease cancellation required 3 transfers. But one by one, I crossed them off. By 11:15 a.m., 8 obligations had vanished. At 11:47, my phone rang. Dad! Laura's voice confused, not yet panicked. Something strange happened with our mortgage. The bank called insufficient funds. That doesn't make sense because you assumed I'd keep paying forever. Silence stretched heavy as stone. What do you mean? She asked, her voice rising. Exactly what I said last night. I replied, calm, unshaken. I'm no longer covering your expenses. But Dad, you can't just stop. The mortgage, the insurance, Ethan's school. All discontinued this morning. I said firmly. I could hear her breath quicken, trembling over the line. This isn't funny. We'll lose the house. Then, Laura, I whispered, my voice like steel, you'll need to figure out how to pay for it yourselves. The line went dead. My notebook still showed 6 more calls. The utility companies, efficient. Centura Academy's accounting, fewer questions than I expected. Each confirmation number entered my log with mechanical precision. AT 12:23 p.m. Laura called back. This time her voice was tight, trembling with genuine fear. Dad, please. I don't understand what's happening. The school called, the insurance company, even the electric company. They're all saying payments were declined. Because, I said calmly, I canceled the automatic transfers. From my accounts. Your accounts? She whispered, disbelief breaking her voice. Did you think these payments just appeared out of thin air, Laura? Another silence, then her faint protest. But we never asked you to. You never asked because you never had to. I simply did it. We can't afford it, she cut herself off. Yes, exactly the point. At 12:31, my phone rang again. This time, Daniel Foster's voice. Cold, forced. Richard, whatever game you're playing ends now. No game, just reality. You can't destroy our family because your feelings got hurt at dinner. I'm not destroying anything, Daniel. I'm simply ending my financial support. You want to know how it feels to be a failure? Then figure out your own bills. His silence lasted longer than Laura's. The last call on my list was to Gregory Hayes, my financial advisor. Monday morning, we'd redirect all those wasted payments into my neglected retirement fund. Finally, for me, at 1:15 p.m., I heard it. The familiar growl of Daniel's BMW pulling into my driveway. Through the window, I saw him slam the car door, fury painted across his face. Laura trailed behind, clutching her purse like a lifeline, her eyes red from crying. I opened the door before they could knock. We need to talk, Daniel barked, pushing past me like he owned the place. Laura followed, trembling. Please, come in, I said softly. Daniel planted himself in the middle of my living room like a general staking territory. This tantrum ends now. You'll call those banks immediately and restore every single payment. No, I won't. His face flushed crimson. You can't just cut us off. There are legal obligations, verbal contracts. Show me the contract, I said firmly, where I agreed to pay your bills forever. Laura stepped forward, her voice breaking. Dad, please, think about what Mom would want. Remember what you promised at her funeral. The name of Helen hit me like a cold wind, but I was ready for it. I promised to help you get stable. 16 years later, nearly $1 million later, you're less stable than when we started. $1 million? Laura's whisper barely reached me. I walked to my desk, retrieved my notebook, and opened it. $9.76, $200. Mortgage help, car payments, insurance, school tuition, medical bills, vacations, emergencies. Do you want me to break it down? For 3 seconds, Daniel's bluster cracked. Then, that's impossible. We never asked for that much. You never asked for anything. You just expected it. Laura collapsed onto the couch, pale as snow. But the children, Ethan's baseball, Chloe's dance classes, they'll continue. I said gently, but I'll pay those directly from me to them. No more money flowing through you, Daniel. You can't divide the family like that. Daniel snapped. Families are built on respect. Tell me, when did either of you last thank me for anything? The question hung heavy in the air that Laura's tears came slowly, then grew into the same desperate sobs I remembered from her teenage years. I didn't know it was so much. I thought you wanted to help. I thought it made you happy. It did. My voice broke, raw, until you stopped appreciating it and started demanding it. Daniel paced my carpet like a trapped animal. Fine. Do you want gratitude? Thank you. There. Now restore the payments. Gratitude doesn't work retroactively, Daniel. He froze. For the first time since barging in, he looked more worried than angry. What do you want from us? I want you to live within your means. I want my grandchildren to see parents who work for what they have, not ones who live off handouts. I want to be treated as a father, not an ATM. Through her tears, Laura whispered, but what if we can't? What if we lose everything? Then you'll finally learn, I said quietly, what failure actually feels like. The silence that followed was endless. Even the afternoon shadows seemed to hold their breath. Daniel straightened, summoning scraps of corporate pride. We'll see about this. There are lawyers who deal with elder financial abuse. I almost smiled. Please call them. I'd love to explain how I've been financially abused for 16 years. Without another word, they stormed out. The BMW roared to life, angry and loud. I stood at the window, hands trembling, watching them disappear down the street. The silence that filled my home was crushing, like water flooding a broken dam. I collapsed into my leather chair, the one Helen had given me on our 20th anniversary, and my eyes drifted to the wedding photo on the mantel. Laura's radiant smile, Daniel's humble bow tie, Helen's glowing face beside me. 2007. Back when Daniel worked at a small insurance firm, drove an old Honda, and called me sir with genuine respect. Mr. Coleman, he had said during our first private talk, I want you to know I'll take good care of Laura. I may not have much now, but I'm working hard to build something worthy of your daughter. The humility in his voice then, it had been real, and I believed him. 2 years later, Helen was gone. Cancer took her in 4 brutal months, leaving Laura shattered and Daniel struggling with a mortgage he couldn't carry. The 2009 recession hit hard. His job is insecure. Layoffs everywhere. At Helen's funeral, Laura collapsed against me, sobbing, Dad, I don't know how we'll manage. Daniel's job isn't safe. The house payments, don't worry. I whispered, holding my broken daughter. I'll help until you get stable. Until you get stable. Not forever. I end those early years. Daniel's gratitude was overwhelming. Handwritten thank you notes. Weekend visits to fix my gutters, mow my lawn. Laura calls twice a week. The grandchildren Sunday dinners. Back then, I believed my sacrifice meant something. Dad, you're literally saving our lives, Laura used to say, tears shining in her eyes. We'll pay you back when things improve. The first mortgage payment, $2,800. Just 6 months, Daniel promised, until I get promoted. The car loan helps, $450 monthly, just until we build some equity. Ethan's private school tuition, $2,000 monthly, just for kindergarten, to give him a strong foundation. Each just became permanent. Each temporary favor became expected. BY 2012. The thank you note stopped. Daniel's weekend visits reduced to dropping by, drinking my beer and complaining about his boss. Laura's grateful calls turned into monthly requests. Dad, can you cover Chloe's dance classes? Only $200. Dad, the kids need new laptops. Dad, our vacation fell through. Can you get us another place? The word please disappeared first. Thank you. Finally, can you even vanish? Replaced by you need.by 2018. Daniel no longer acknowledged me at all. At barbecues, he bragged about his smart planning, his home upgrades, his luxury lifestyle. When neighbors admired his BMW, he grinned with pride, never mentioning the truth. Laura defended him over me. When I suggested they try covering some expenses themselves, her response stung. Dad, you don't understand modern family dynamics. Daniel's under immense pressure at work. The children have routines. You can't just disrupt everything because you feel unappreciated. Unappreciated. The word cut like a knife. Last Christmas, neither of them even acknowledged my support. Daniel raised a toast about his hard work providing for the family. Laura filled social media with pictures of their lavish gifts, hashtags about blessed success. And me? I sat in my small living room, staring at thank you card from 2009, wondering when gratitude had hardened into entitlement. Now, in the fading dusk, I finally understood what Helen would have wanted. Not endless enabling, but dignity. Not blind generosity, but respect. Outside, shadows stretched across the yard. Somewhere, a phone rang in the distance point. 3 days passed like dominoes falling in slow motion. Monday morning, the first bank notifications. At 9:47 a.m., Laura called, her voice thin with panic. Dad, they're saying our mortgage payment failed. There's a $75 penalty. We need $2,875 by tomorrow or foreclosure begins. I said nothing. The silence stretched until she hung up. BY noon, 2 more blows. Daniel's BMW lease company left voicemails about their missed $650 payment. Laura's SUV loan bounced. $480 plus a $50 penalty at 8:03 p.m. Their homeowner's insurance lapsed when the payment failed. Tuesday, deeper water. Laura again. Daniel shouting in the background. We can't cover everything. Her voice cracked. I applied at Target, Walmart, 3 restaurants. Even if I start tomorrow, they're paying $12 an hour. That's barely $2,000 a month before taxes. For the first time in 16 years, she was doing math on her own survival. Wednesday, I drove past Insure Academy during pickup. Ethan and Chloe stood with classmates whose tuition had cleared, but the school had called Laura earlier for $1,800 due immediately, or the kids would be withdrawn Friday. That evening, my neighbor, Mrs. Payne, mentioned hearing shouting from Laura's house. The young man, she said carefully, was yelling about credit cards being maxed. Thursday brought the crescendo. Laura's third call came at 2:15 p.m. Dad, please. I went to 5 interviews yesterday. McDonald's, a cleaning company, a grocery store. They all want references, but I haven't worked since 2009. Her voice had lost its sharpness, replaced by something I hadn't heard in years. Humility. Daniel tried to pay the mortgage yesterday. We had $3,000. The payment was $2,875. He made it, then realized we couldn't cover utilities, groceries, or gas. He had to call the bank back and cancel. Silence. The BMW lease company is repossessing Monday. $650 plus $200 reinstatement fee. Otherwise, they're taking it. More silence. Dad. Her voice became very small. I think we're going to lose everything. Yes, I said quietly. You probably are. She started sobbing. Deep, guttural sobs. The kind that pull me back to her teenage heartbreaks. But this wasn't a teenage drama. This was an adult consequence. Friday morning, I sat in my study, reviewing my new financial plan. Those redirected payments, finally mine, they would cover the European river cruise Helen, and I once dreamed of, the Italian cooking classes, the photography workshop in Scotland, my future, restored AT 1130. My phone rang. Daniel this time. His arrogance is gone. Richard, we need to talk. We've talked. No, we need to really talk. As adults, about how we can fix the situation. You mean how can I fix your situation? A long pause. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. At least, finally, honesty. Come over Sunday afternoon. All of you, bring the children. What should we prepare to discuss? Daniel asked. Reality, I replied, and hung up. Outside my window, the first spring flowers were pushing to the soil, life insisting on renewal, even as theirs collapsed. Monday morning, my friend Dave from the hardware store called, concerned heavy in his voice. Richard, I heard something troubling. Daniel was at Murphy's bar, saying you cut off your family, without warning. Said you're forcing the kids out of private school, out of spite. I set my coffee down slowly. What exactly did he say? He called it financial abandonment of innocent grandchildren. Used business words. Made it sound like you were punishing Laura over something petty. By Tuesday, Laura had called Helen's sister, Janet. That afternoon, Janet phoned me, her voice cold with judgment. Laura says you abandoned them in their time of greatest need. She was crying. The children don't understand why Grandpa doesn't love them anymore. Did she mention the $976,000 I've given them in 16 years? Silence. What? Nearly $1 million, Janet. Mortgage payments, car loans, tuition, medical bills, vacations, every month for 16 years. That can't be right. I have documentation for every penny. The next morning, Chloe called. Her tiny voice trembled, carefully rehearsed. Grandpa, Mommy says we might lose our house because you don't want to help us anymore. Did we do something wrong? My heart twisted. I softened my voice. You didn't do anything wrong, sweetheart. Would you like ice cream this afternoon? Mommy says you might say no to everything now. I never say no to ice cream with my granddaughter. That afternoon at Dairy Queen, her scripted sadness melted away. She chatted about her art project. Smiling again. When I dropped her off, Laura watched from the window, her eyes calculating. Wednesday, the grocery store. My longtime neighbor, Nancy Morrison, spotted me across the aisle. Her voice carried. Richard Bennett, I'm ashamed of you. Cutting off your own daughter when she needs you most. What would Helen think? I faced her calmly. She'd think 16 years and nearly $1 million was generous enough. Her righteousness faltered. $1 million, $9.76, $200, mortgage assistance, car payments, tuition, insurance, vacations. Would you like to see the bank records? Other shoppers had stopped listening. Nancy's face paled. Laura mentions very little, only what she wants. That evening, Dave called again. Daniel was back at Murphy's. Tried the same story. But Bill Henderson was there. Remember Bill? Sold them that BMW lease 3 years ago. What did Bill say? He asked how Daniel afforded a $60,000 car on his salary. When Daniel dodged, Bill reminded everyone you co-signed the lease. The whole bar went quiet real fast. Thursday morning, my old engineering colleague Tom called. Heard gossip at the coffee shop. Heard your side from Dave, too. Can I ask you directly, did you really support them for 16 years? Yes, every month since Helen died, and they never once acknowledged it. Last Christmas, Daniel toasted his hard work providing. Laura posted photos of gifts with hashtags about blessed success. Tom whistled low. That's cold, Richard. Friday evening, I was watering my roses when Mrs. Payne approached. Mr. Bennett, my daughter overheard parents talking at school pickup. They're questioning the story your son-in-law has been telling. People have a right to their opinions. She also said you've been very generous to those children. Very generous. I love my grandchildren. Of course you do. That was never in doubt. Saturday morning, Laura called, shrill with desperation. People were asking questions, Dad. Uncomfortable questions about money, timelines, documentation. You need to stop spreading lies about us. I haven't spread anything, Laura. I've simply answered honestly when asked. You're destroying our reputation. I'm not destroying anything. I've simply stopped funding false ones. The line went dead. Sunday arrived with clear skies, but the family meeting never happened. By Monday, reality struck harder. Dave called at 8:15 a.m. Richard, a foreclosure notice went up on Laura's door yesterday. Big official paper from the county. I set my coffee down carefully. 30 days. They had 30 days to pay $8,625. 3 months missed mortgage plus penalties and legal fees. Tuesday, change was visible. Laura's BMW vanished, replaced by a 10-year-old Honda Civic. Monthly savings must be huge, Mrs. Payne observed. That BMW lease was close to $1,000 a month. Wednesday afternoon, I stopped by the grocery store, and there was Laura, blue vest, name tag, scanning items with mechanical precision. When Mrs. Patterson came through her lane, Laura's face flushed crimson. "Laura, dear, I didn't know you were working here." "Starting Monday," she muttered, eyes down. "Paper or plastic?" Her shift ended at 6. I watched her trudge to the Honda, shoulders slumped in exhaustion. That evening, Ethan called. "Grandpa, Mom, and Dad are fighting again." Really loud. "About what, buddy?" "Money. Dad says Mom's job doesn't pay enough. Mom says Dad never made enough either. Then they said mean things about you." "What kind of mean things?" "That you ruined everything on purpose." But then Mom started crying, and she said maybe they ruined it themselves. Thursday morning, I heard raised voices from their house as I walked past. Through thin walls, fragments carried. 8 hours on my feet for peanuts. Never appreciated what we had. Your pride got us into this mess. 16 years of handouts, and then silence. A door slammed. Daniel's Honda roared to life. That afternoon, Chloe visited me. Her usual cheer dimmed. "Grandpa, why is everything different now?" I settled her at the kitchen table with cookies and milk. "What feels different, sweetheart?" "Mom's always tired and sad. Dad's angry at everything. They talk about losing our house. Ethan says we might have to change schools. How you feel about that?" She hesitated, scared, but also maybe they should have said thank you more. Out of the mouths of babes. Friday evening, I was reading in my study when the doorbell rang. Daniel stood on my porch alone, his corporate confidence gone, his shirt wrinkled, tie loosened, eyes hollow. "Richard, I need to talk." Man to man. I invited him in, to the same room where he'd once demanded I restore payments. He sank into the chair, hands clasped between his knees. "The foreclosure is real. 30 days. Laura's working 40 hours a week for $13.50 an hour, barely $1,100 after taxes. I bring home $5,800. Mortgage is $2,875. We can't make it work. Not even close. We never could without you, could we?" "No," I said quietly. "You never could." He lowered his head. "I never earned any of it, did I? The house, the cars, the schools, none of it was mine. What do you want from me, Daniel?" He looked up, voice cracking. "A way forward, not back, forward." Outside, streetlights flickered to life as our neighborhood sank into darkness. Saturday afternoon, the bell rang again. Laura stood there, still in her grocery vest, face streaked with tears. "Dad, please, we need to talk about Ethan and Chloe." She looked smaller, fragile. The arrogance I'd seen for 16 years was gone, leaving only the frightened daughter I remembered after Helen's funeral. She collapsed into the same chair as Daniel. "For days. That's all. Ethan keeps asking if we'll lose the house. Chloe had nightmares last night about moving. What do you want, Laura?" "Stability. For them to finish school. For Chloe to sleep without crying." Her eyes shone with desperation, not manipulation. "I've been on my feet 40 hours a week, scanning grocery for neighbors who used to be my friends. Yesterday, Mrs. Henderson came through my line. I wanted to vanish, but I didn't. I smiled and asked, 'Paper or plastic?' because I finally understand what work means." She wiped her nose. "Daniel told me about your talk. You asked if there's a way forward." "There might be," I said, "but it requires change. Tell me." "I'll pay Ethan and Chloe's tuition directly. I'll cover their clothes, medical expenses, sports, music. I'll establish college funds. But I won't pay your mortgage, cars, or insurance. You'll live within your means." Her face lit with hope. "But," I added, "I want public acknowledgement. A letter to the community paper. A Facebook post of truth. Face-to-face apologies to those you've misled." Her face crumpled. "Daniel will never agree. His pride. Then his pride matters more than his children's stability." She fell silent. "You have 48 hours, I said. "After that, the offer expires." At the door, she whispered, "Dad, thank you for still caring about them." I never stopped caring, Laura. I only stopped enabling. That evening, Laura returned home. Dave later described it to me. Daniel was reheating pizza. "Where were you? Your shift ended at 3. I went to see Dad." Silence. Then the beep of the microwave. "You went behind my back?" "We're out of time, Daniel. For days. The kids are terrified." She pulled off her vest and sat heavily. "He'll help with conditions." "What conditions?" "School, clothes, activities, medical, college funds." "That's fantastic. When does he restart the mortgage?" "He doesn't. We live on what we earn." His face fell. "Impossible. There's more. He wants public apologies. Acknowledgement of 16 years and $976,000. Daniel's face turned pale, then red. "Humiliate myself? Admit I was a charity case." "Daniel, he spent $1 million on us." "That's what fathers do." "No," she said softly. "That's what saints do. And we treated him like an ATM." From upstairs came Ethan's voice. "Mom, Dad, why are you yelling?" Then Chloe in pajamas. "Are you fighting about Grandpa again?" Silence. Later, Laura calculated aloud. "Our income, $6,900. Mortgage, $2,875. Car insurance, utilities, food, nothing left. Add baseball, dance, school, gifts. We can't afford our children." Through thin walls, Ethan's voice drifted. "Mom, Chloe's crying. She says we'll be homeless." Laura whispered, "We have 36 hours. Dad's offer expires Monday at noon." Monday morning, 10:15. Their Honda pulled into my drive. All 4 stepped out. Daniel looking like a man sentenced. Laura with eyes swollen from tears. The children in school clothes. "Dad," she said, "we need to accept your offer. All of it." Inside, Chloe tugged my sleeve. "Grandpa, are we really going to lose our house?" "Not if I can help it, sweetheart." Daniel cleared his throat, walked to my mantel, stared at the photo of Helen. His voice shook. 16 years ago, you offered temporary help. I turned it into permanent dependency. I bragged the house, cars, schools were mine. I let my kids believe I was a provider when it was always you. Laura's voice broke. "Dad, I owe apologies too. I treated your generosity as entitlement, like inheritance. You paid our mortgage, our cars, tuition, medical bills, vacations, everything." Ethan's eyes widened. "Grandpa paid for my baseball?" "Grandpa paid for everything," Laura admitted. Chloe whispered, "Why didn't you tell us?" Her mother's face burned. "Because we were ashamed, not of Grandpa's help, but of how we acted like we didn't need it." I leaned forward. "If I help today, things change. I'll cover their needs, not your lifestyle. You'll live on your own salaries." Daniel nodded. "We understand. And there must be public acknowledgement. Newspaper letter, Facebook post, face-to-face apologies. This week." His jaw clenched, but he nodded. "And monthly dinners here. To remember that family means respect, not entitlement." I wrote the check, called the bank, and said, "This is the last mortgage payment I ever make for you. From here on, you sink or swim on your own income." As I dialed, Chloe whispered, "Are we going to be okay now?" "Yes," Laura said softly. "We'll be fine." 3 months later, on a bright June afternoon, they arrived on time. Laura, promoted to shift supervisor, earning $15.50. Daniel, finally budgeting within reality. Chloe burst through the door in her soccer uniform, medals shining. "Grandpa, look what I won." "That's wonderful, sweetheart." Ethan showed straight A's and a note praising his confidence. Laura set a folder on the table. "Dad, here's this month's budget. Mortgage, utilities, food, car, all from our salaries. We've even started an emergency fund." Daniel looked at me with humility. "There's a regional director role opening. I wanted your advice before applying. More salary, but travel. We're learning to plan together." I opened my own folder. Tuition, sports, lessons, dental appointments, handled directly. Laura smiled, genuine at last. Dad, thank you for keeping their lives steady while we learn how to be adults. And volunteering at the food bank, Daniel added, showed us what real struggle looks like. We weren't struggling, we were wasteful. Chloe tugged my sleeve again. Grandpa, look at the thank you card I made. Her glittered paper read, I love you, Grandpa. You're the best. For the first time in 16 years, gratitude was real. As the sun set, Ethan asked, Grandpa, are you proud of us now? I looked at them. My daughter who learned work, my son-in-law who swallowed pride, my grandchildren who understood gratitude. Yes, Ethan, I am very proud of all of you. They left in the same Honda that once symbolized failure, but now it looked like wisdom. And I knew Helen would be proud, too. The revenge I thought I wanted wasn't punishment. It was transformation. And sometimes that's the sweetest justice of all. If this story moved you, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it tonight.